You're not going to need to do too much digging. The truth is already rising. On Tuesday, November 18th, Mercury retrogrades into Scorpio. Now, it's already been retrograde for about a week and a half. It went retrograde in Sagittarius, and now it's going to retrograde back into Scorpio for another about week and a half. It is going direct on the 29th of November, so a little ways to go here still. This is a really deep dive so that we can see clearly what is coming up for us, what the truth is all about, and to align with what the deeper meanings for us are. So it's a lovely time. I know a lot of people don't like the Mercury retrogrades, but it's a really great time to be able to communicate within yourself. And in this case, we're going deep with the Scorpio energy, and the truth is already bubbling to the surface. So you're not going to have to look that hard for it. Let's see what the astrology.com blurb has to say, just to give you a little bit of an idea about this energy for the next couple of weeks, week and a half. It says, this retrograde is intense and secretive, making it difficult to see the truth. It's hard to tell fact from fiction, so we might need to set aside what we think we know and read between the lines. Communication retrograde skews things. The open that I was talking about is like, if you can pay attention, you're not going to have to look too hard for it. But you've got to be able to, like the blurb is saying, read between the lines with this. The communication may be skewed. There may be old cycles in place. You know, there may be like sort of manipulative things happening, or things being kept secret or trying to be kept hidden. But if you pay attention, you're going to be able to see within. You're going to be able to tune into your intuition and realize what the truth is, if you will. So I'm very excited about what they're going to give us here for guidance. Let's get into the roll, and then we'll pull cards. A 6 and a 1. 6 and a 1. This is a 7. Immediately it feels like a 7. This is experience. And I'm thinking of the 7s in the tarot, having experience, doing inventory, tapping into your authentic self, seeing beyond illusion, knowing when something is being manipulated, knowing when things are being kind of kept hidden from you or kept secret, having the will to persevere, being able to draw the lines where you need to. And just the feeling of having enough experience being you on this journey of life to create an understanding and balance. So the 1 makes me feel like this is going to be a very individual experience, or something's going to pop up for you that is individual for you. Coupling that with a 6 energy is really nice, because sixes want to balance things out for us. So it's like you have the experience to be able to see what is being highlighted, to read between the lines, and to help yourself understand it, to not ignore it, so that it can come to the surface and you can see it for what it is, so that it can help you, right, balance or harmonize things with that pull, with that roll. So let's see what the pull gives us. I'm going to shuffle these up. All right. As I was shuffling, they're tending to talk a lot while I'm shuffling lately, but they were saying that for some of us, things are going to feel almost ambiguous during this next week and a half. But don't worry about that, because as Mercury goes direct, you know, it will be made clear. So it's like minding the retrograde. That's how Spirit always says it. Mind the retrograde, mind the retrograde. So if it does feel a little ambiguous to you, that's okay. Don't give up on it, they're saying. And then, so the energy might just seem a little bit hard to get clarity on. So you might just have like a piece or a nugget that's guiding you. Okay. Let's see what the pull is here. Inner conflict resolution. Wow. Can we just look at this card, please? Wow. Whoa. The vibe, the message. Yeah. When I was talking about things being shown to you, you see this up here, right? This eye providing you with the information that you need, the perspective that you need to transform something. This is like the inner self that needs to be reborn or be, that's rebirthing, they're saying, shedding its skin, etc. You're going to be able to see that. Inner conflict resolution. I feel like they're it's almost like they're making a joke or they're making light of it. Like, of course, this is what it is. Mercury's retrograding in Scorpio. What did you think it was going to be? It's lovely. The message of the card is what I'll say. This is a hopeful message, right? From the Oracle. It's telling us we can be hopeful. If you have inner conflicts going on and you dive into your shadow, or you at least acknowledge the deep feelings that you have, what is truthful for you, if you start reading between the lines, even if it is a bit skewed in nature at this moment, it will start to get clear for you so that it can be resolved. Inner conflict resolution, being able to see, being able to know, being able to understand, that's beautiful. I do feel like there is this massive kind of like rebirth happening. You're shedding an old skin. So I love the imagery on the card as well. Plus, it's a very blunt message from spirit, right? If you avoid your shadow, if you avoid the depths of your emotional body, if you avoid kind of digging in and looking at the truth that resides within you, I don't know if it's going to be resolved so easily for you. The key is to notice the inner conflict, dig into it a bit, allow yourself to be one with the truth, like tell yourself the truth. And even if it's difficult to see at first, I mean, this literally says, this retrograde is intense and secretive, making it difficult to see the truth. And then they're giving us a card with the all-seeing eye, right? So that's what I mean. It feels kind of playful, the pull from spirit, like going, yeah, it might be difficult to see the truth if you're looking with these eyes. But if you're looking with this eye, you'll see it. It'll be there. You don't have to dig too. It's coming. It's rising now in order to show you so that you can shed the skin, so that you can resolve it. Let's see what we have for the tarot. Yeah. 8 of Swords. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but when they do this kind of thing, when spirit, it does this kind of thing where they're just repeating themselves and being very blunt and almost is like playful. Like, duh. I call the 8 of Swords the bitch slap card. And I'm saying that and telling you that just because I'm chuckling within myself. When you see something for what it is, the higher perspective, even if it is in conflict for you and you don't kind of hold that inside yourself anymore and you're able to resolve it, the 8 of Swords is that. This is a card of victimization. And even if you try to fight it, it doesn't often go well, especially if you're in connection with your spirit team and talking to spirit and talking to those that are guiding you. With an 8 of Swords, your mind is in conflict, and it's usually in some sort of fear or illusion that is holding you back from being able to break free or to be free or to, shift your mindset to be able to manifest what it is that you want and actually believe it, believe in yourself, whatever it is. You can see in the depiction, I'll show you again, the hand has all these tiny swords in it. And it's like with the 8 of Swords, there's never any real danger. The danger is your mind and lying to yourself, right? Not looking at the truth. So you could just pick all these little swords. If this was my hand, they're like little toothpicks, right? It's not actually harming me. Nothing bad is going to happen. It just might sting a little bit. So you got to pull them out, Be in reality in your mind, says the 8 of Swords. Otherwise, you will become a victim of your own mind. And that conflict that's going on, it's not going to resolve. You have to tell yourself the truth here, the real truth. And that truth with Mercury retrograding in Scorpio is going to be readily available from the depths of your being. That's why I call it the bitch slap card, because if Spirit is working with you and you try to lie to yourself with an 8 of Swords, they basically go like, hey, wake up. Like, that's not true. Like, if you're trying to say something that's mean to yourself, or if you're stopping yourself because you're afraid, they will just wake you up, right? Like, hello, that isn't true. You're lying to yourself again. Not true. Look at the truth, please. Look at the truth. Please acknowledge the truth. Like, acknowledge who you really are. Acknowledge what is happening now. Do not victimize yourself. And so that may be happening for some of us, especially with this combination over the next week and a half-ish into perhaps the shadow, right? The shadow energy afterwards, as it's beginning to speed up in right itself, the planet Mercury, right? So I would just say, talk to your team, be brutally honest with yourself if you can, while also being caring and gentle. It's like going deep doesn't have to be harsh. Remember that. Although sometimes, Scorpios, they do get a bad rap with their stinger and their harshness and their lashing out stuff. But it doesn't have to be like that, right? It can be acknowledging the conflict within you, the conflict in your mind, and looking at the truth for what it is, and then being able to resolve that for you by letting it go, by pulling these things out and realizing, oh, I wasn't actually being harmed. I was harming myself. I have control over this now. With an 8 of Swords, you manifest what you're thinking about. So whatever it is you think you are, you are. And that's why Spirit's going to be because, your divine self knows who you truly are. And if you can tap into that truth through the rest of this retrograde, you're going to be in really, really great shape here. All the toothpick marks will heal and you'll feel that internal resolution. All right, let us pull a charm. Okay. The Peacock making an appearance. Love that. Now, couple of sides to the Peacock. Immediately they're saying this, that I need to say this. The Peacock energy is wonderful because if you're confident and you're peacocking yourself in a really divine way, it will break you free from these mental chains and help you resolve the conflict, right? You're going to tell yourself the truth, the divine truth, and be able to feel really beautifully like charismatic, lighting your fire again, feeling really good about what you're saying to yourself and feeling more confident in general, of course, about who you are and the beauty that you have within. The Peacock in high expression is always like this beauty that is coming from the inside out. But they want me to warn about the egotistical nature, of that peacock charm, or the idea of a peacock. If you're peacocking yourself from an ego standpoint, you could still be lying to yourself, and this is no time to do that. Not this Mercury retrograde, not this part of this Mercury retrograde, or this Mercury retrograde in general. I mean, not ever, but this is just not the time to do that. So if you're like pretending to think of things that you think you should be, but you don't really believe them, that may not work. You're going to be kind of faced with the lie that you keep telling yourself. So you want it to be rooted in truth and rooted in your soul, in your heart, right? Ask your divine self what it has to say about it. And that's where you're going to find the truth. That way you can feel that beauty kind of coming from within you and out into the world. This belief about yourself or your situation or whatever's going on that feels like it's in conflict, especially if you've been thinking about it and feeling bad for yourself about something or whatever it is. It wants to come to the surface so that you can shift it and set your mind free and set yourself free and just shine again from the inside out. Wow, this is powerful energy. I hope that this serves you. A couple of readings that will combine very well with this kind of retrograde energy are the 5 planets in retrograde pick a card reading that I have. That will help you explore your guidance that's connected to the retrogrades that are all happening right now. So 5 planets are currently retrograding, Mercury being one of them. You can check that out, of course. And if you'd like a deeper look at what you're currently feeling, if you have some questions about that, the Explore Your Emotions personal reading allows me to pull on that for you, whatever is coming up for you there. So feel free to check that out. I'll leave the links in the description. Of course, visit the Intuitive Astrology playlist to keep up with the Astro guidance this week. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.